So, hello everybody, my name is Arek, and I would like to present cool features about destructuring. So, a lot of us use JavaScript in our work on a daily basis, and there is a new version of it, which is ECMAScript 6, and it has destructuring. So, I think everyone is familiar with the basics. So we have like a source variable, and we destructure it into separate variables we define. We can also rename the value from the source. We can provide default value, and we also can combine like a default value and rename for that variable. But do we know the other features it provides? One of which is elision or omitting. So if we have like function call which returns some data for us, we can skip some of them which we do not need. In this case, we do not need the whole match. We just get the first and last name we need. Another stuff is a REST operator. So similar like in Ruby, we can capture other elements of the given variable. In this case, we capture the first letter into the first variable, and all of them into the array named Y. So similar case in the other one, but here, as you can see, if there is no elements to be catched by this REST, it returns empty array always. So this is good to know. Oh, this goes. Yeah. So it also has some limits. In this case, it can be only passed. The REST operator can be only passed as the last argument. So in other case, it will raise syntax error. We can also use this REST operator in object destructuring, like in this case, but it is available only at the stage 3 of ECMAScript 6. So in the base 6, it is not available. Another cool feature is that we can destructure to the reference. So we can not only define values using destructuring, but we can also assign to the existing object. And same in the second case, we assign to the element of the array. And what's also noteworthy is when using object destructuring, we need to wrap it into parentheses, because otherwise JavaScript will evaluate this as block, not destructuring. So we can also do it with array destructuring, this assigning to reference, and we can also use it with conjunction with REST operator. So this is how it works. Yeah. Another cool, neat feature is that we can define not only values as defaults, but we can also assign a function results. So here we have this sum function, which is assigned as default, and it is evaluated only when it's needed. So in the second case, when this prop was found in the object, it was not called at all. So that's a good optimization on the JS side. Another thing is computed keys. So here we have a variable when we define like which values we want to get from the object, and we use it to assign a val variable. In this case, it's 1, 2, 3. But this method has some restrictions, so we cannot use the shorter syntax, and we cannot like define computed variable. We can only use it in the first as the first argument. Because we cannot define variables which are named as the result. So. Another thing which happened under the hood is that object destructuring coerces the source into object. So in this case, when we object destructure an array, it is we can access the length property and assign to it some variable. And in the second case, we also, with a REST operator, capture the letters, which might get handy for someone. Similar thing is for iterables. So with array destructuring, we can use it for other data types which are iterable. In this case, string. It's transformed into array of letters. All the same goes for sets. So there are also some restrictions regarding destructuring. So we need to be careful about passing undefined and nulls as source, because this will raise type error. And also if we try to use array destructuring and pass object as a source, this will also fail on us. So getting back to the example few slides before, we have this exec method, and it can return null if the match will not be found. So for us to be safe, we can assign the empty array if such situation happens. So the source on which I made this presentation is a brilliant book available free on the internet. It's speakingjs.com. It's in the book about AS6. It's written by Dr. Axel Rauschmeier, and it's a brilliant book. Thank you.